Okay, welcome back to the Survivalist. I am going to do a demonstration on how to start a fire using a magnesium striker. Okay, what I've done here is I've collected some really dry moss. This is Spanish moss. When it gets dry, it starts turning black. So the blacker the better. It catches the sparks really good. So you just ball that up. If you can't find any dry Spanish moss, you want to find something that's really dry. You can use wood shavings, but you need to make a pretty decent pile. They work pretty good also. It catches the sparks and will turn into coals. It just takes a little bit more effort. I've arranged everything in the order that I'm going to put it on the fire. You want to start out with something that you've batoned down into small pieces of tinder like this. It'll be drier and light on fire easier. Then once I get that going pretty good, I usually add a little bit of fuel, which I got a lot of pine needles here, a little at a time. Just add it a little at a time and slowly alternate between your extra fuel and your sustaining fuel. And then eventually you can move up to sticks and stuff. These little twigs usually carry more moisture, but these are pretty dry, so I don't think it'll matter. And then you're going to want to move up to the bigger stuff. And then I got more wood over there, which I batoned. Okay, let's see if we can get this rolling here. Now you want it to catch the sparks as best as it can. So I usually like it really flat. Now I'm not doing like much organization here as far as stacking the wood. I'm just putting it in the places where I know the flames are going to be. And it's like anything else, it just takes a little bit of experience and time. Now when you start a fire, you're going to want to gather a lot more wood than I did, but I did this solely for the purpose of showing you that a magnesium striker works pretty easy. That way you'll be confident whenever you're out there. I usually put these smaller sticks on top where they can get in the heat real good. Now this stick right here, see how it's real curly and shaped, kind of funky? The good thing about that is once you get your fire going, I'll pull that back out, and you can set a log like that straight into some old coals from like the fire from the night before, and use that profile to lean your sticks up on there like that. Then you would just throw some dry starter, like your Spanish moss or some shavings or something, up in the coals that would be under here, and just blow on them a little bit, and you'll get your fire started right back up. One thing you want to do is make sure that the spot that you're creating your fire on is dry. A lot of times you'll get a fire going a little bit and it'll just go out for no reason. You're not sure why. It's because the moisture is evaporating out of the soil underneath. Now in really wet conditions, you're going to want to get your tinder out in the sun, and if your clothes are dry, you can put it in your pocket, but most likely they're not going to be. So the best thing to do is to spread it out in the sun on like a rock, something dark. Now I'm gradually feeding it larger items so that it slowly builds a flame, and that way the fire will be more even. I got those bigger pieces which I batoned down to pretty small size. I put those on the bottom first because they'll be a better coal and they light on fire pretty easily, and that way we can get our twigs to light, because like I said, they usually carry more moisture. You want to make sure that there's spaces for air to get into the fire, because flame needs oxygen. So you want to give it enough space to get a little air in there, but not so much space as to where it's not going to light and keep burning. Once you get it going pretty good, you can start stuffing little pieces up underneath. All I used was this, my Kabar Remora, and this is a Burton magnesium rod, and the back of this I ground it like you would an ice skate, with just a flat grind to give the edge so that I can get a better spark. Now it does wear the striker out more, but in a survival situation you're only going to need this striker one time pretty much, because once you get a fire going, you don't really want to let it go out.